aboard the podcast,
Oh,
everybody.
choo choo.
Yep, that's right. This week we're talking about Train Dreams, Netflix's
Yeah.
Train Dreams, which I haven't watched yet.
Neither have I. I've kind of been dreading it. It kind of seems insufferable.
I am looking forward to it. I am not on the Baldan Dowd. Uh, uh, I mean, I do like her in general, but I am not letting that taint my sight unseen perception of that movie. But that's not what we're talking about really this week.
Look,
That was jokes.
I could we could continue talking about Train Dreams, like our thoughts on it despite having not seen it.
We could, but who wants to hear that? That's not fun.
I mean, I think Christoph would enjoy that.
Maybe,
We
but
make this podcast 30% for Christoph,
just
20% for Jason, and 50% for us.
that math checks out to me. Hi, everybody. It's Next Up Christmas, a Hallmark movie.
Yep.
Yep, that's it. Nothing from you on that.
It is next Christmas. In fact, it is. We were trying to find a Hallmark movie that did not star Lacey Chabert because we have a different Lacey Chabert representation this month, and we found this one that because it sounded funny, and it was.
I should say up front, I was watching this movie last night. No, this morning, today, earlier today. I was watching it. Cass was here. He was playing a game next to me.
Hi,
I was in bed.
Cass.
He's not here right now. He's in the other room. I mean, he's here, but he's not listening or anything. Um, but we were lying in bed. I was watching this movie. And about 35, 40 minutes into it, I paused and I looked over to him and I said, Babe, I'm liking this movie. And I have to say that for the most part, held through to the end. This was not bad. This was, as I assume by Hallmark movie standards, pretty good.
You know, you mentioned you saying that you liked this movie made me realize I don't know what I think of this movie. I did not think about having any emotions towards this movie. I just kind of wa let it wash over me. And it's like, this sure is a movie that exists. And it's
I'm
like, do I like this? I don't know. Did I dislike it? I maybe. I don't know.
I was bracing for it to be bad, I think, because it's a Hallmark Christmas movie about time travel and everything, and it's like cheesy and corny. And there's definitely some stuff in this that's like, I mean, it's all obvious. You start the movie, you know exactly where it's going to end up by like minute 5. But I have to say, I think the way it handles some of the stuff that it's got going on in the plot, pretty fun. Obviously, there's some stupid Hallmark tropey bullshit in there, but like I had a good time with it. I think the lead performance from Lindsay Fonseca is remarkably good given the material and everything. I thought she really delivered, and I think that carried a lot of it for me was how much I was liking her performance. But yeah, I had a pretty good time with this movie.
So I'll say that it's like I've had to watch a lot of movies like this for my Christmas Carol project because
Oh,
so
I'm
many of them
sure.
are like they're all made by Hallmark and movies that want to or companies that want to be Hallmark or and it's just trying to fit the Christmas Carol narrative onto the stories they want to tell about these successful career women who like re find out the meaning of Christmas, they return to their hometown, yada yada yada. It's it's all a tired plot. And it's like with this one, well, this movie's kind of exactly like that, except they do it with Groundhog Day.
Well, it's not Groundhog. It's Back to the Future. It's not Groundhog Day.
I mean, well, oh, okay, yeah, I guess it
It's
is Back to the Future.
decidedly it's decidedly not Groundhog Day. It
Considering the
doesn't
fact
do the Groundhog Day thing. But
it's
yeah, I mean,
it has to be
Christopher.
Back to the Future, considering Christopher Lloyd and Leah Thompson are here.
Yes, exactly. But no, it's very much that with wrinkle. It's not exactly that. She's going back to a time where she is a person who exists. It's not like she's going back to when her parents were
Yeah,
young.
she's
It's just
going
10
into
years
her
ago.
old body.
Yes, kind of. There's this is not a movie where you need to, CinemaSins nitpick the plot like consistency of the time travel and the timeline changes and everything. If you start to think about that, obviously it all falls apart because they didn't care. It's more about the emotions of it all. But yeah, it was I found this to be pretty good. And do we want to do the rundown and get into the whole of it?
Well, it's not really we do the rundown. It's you do the
Well,
rundown, and I
yes.
listen while kicking my feet.
Well, yes, but there's I do have one thing in here that's already a sidetrack that we're gonna get on where it's a
Oh,
little
please sidetrack.
okay. But we are talking about Next Stop Christmas from 2021, our most recent movie, right? That we've done.
Maybe I could double
Because
check
other
that.
than that, it's Riot, which is like 2018, I think was the most recent otherwise.
Uh, well, as of now, it is our most recent, but
Okay.
next week we get a little
Well, yes.
newer.
Well, yeah, but next week is the future, and we're not talking about the future. We're talking about the past.
Well, in this movie, we're kind of talking about both of those simultaneously.
Yeah, sure. Directed by Dustin Reichert, written by Carrie Drake and Dwayne Poole, from a concept by Samantha DiDippo, Andrew Gernhardt, and Christy O'Connor. It stars Lindsay Fonseca, Chandler Massey, Erica Slezak, Eric Freeman, Paige Herschel, Matt Walton, Nicholas Delaney, with Leah Thompson and Christopher Lloyd. The only two people in that cast that you will recognize, I guess. Lindsay Fonseca
Unless
is like has been around a bit.
unless you are a fan of the sitcom How I Met Your Mother, because Lindsay Fonseca is the daughter who appears in every at the start of every
Yeah,
episode.
she's also in like Kick Ass, I think, as the
Yeah.
love interest or something. She's been around, and a few of these people are like soap opera people. At least two of them are like multi daytime Emmy winners for One Life to Live, I think.
Mhm.
The guy playing Ben and Aunt Myrt. Aunt Myrt, I think, is
I
a One Life to Live. Gotta love Aunt Myrt.
Yeah, I was wondering why Erica Slezak was third billed on Letterboxd. But it's like, oh, she's a big name on and like the kind of people who will watch this movie,
Yeah, the people that are watching Hallmark Christmas movies like
e-
Next Stop Christmas
even though she
know her.
has one scene, I think, maybe
No,
two.
she's got a good handful of scenes in the second half. She just doesn't show up for a while, but she's present a lot in the second half.
I
There's
barely noticed her, if so.
she goes there's the scene where she goes out to lunch with
That's the thing I know.
well,
That's
then
just
there's also Aunt Mert's Christmas party, the whole
okay.
big set piece of the
I
third
I
act.
didn't remember seeing her there.
It's her Christmas party. They
I
talk
know
about
it's
it
her
so
Christmas
much.
party, but I don't remember seeing her.
She does the whole thing where she's talking with the dad about the first party, and then like she's leading into the when they see each other again, and Leah Thompson
Oh
has the dress
yeah.
on.
I
She
I didn't
goes to
connect
give
that's the
this.
same woman.
They say so often that it's Aunt Mert's Christmas party that they're going to.
I know they say it, but I didn't remember that this was Aunt Myrt. She's a
Okay,
very forgettable character.
yeah, she's just a lady. Anyway, that's that. It was broadcast November 6th, 2021 on Hallmark. Not a lot going on otherwise. A lot of college football on ABC Fox. NBA, there was the Breeders' Cup Classic, which is a horse racing thing. I just wrote that down because that's a name for a horse race, I guess.
Mhm.
And on CBS, there was an episode of a TV show called Bull. Do you know anything about the TV show Bull?
I know the TV show Bull because my parents watched it because they were upset that the guy who plays Anthony DiNozzo on NCIS left, and then they watched Bull because he went to that show, and it got canceled like after one season, I think.
No, six. It was six or
Really?
something. It was a lot of. Okay.
I
Do you
guess my
know?
parents just didn't watch it after.
Do you know anything about the show?
I know it's a procedural type thing. I don't remember what the gimmick is, but I remember
Okay.
it's a law thing.
I'm going to read to you the first paragraph rundown from the TV Tango description, and I'm going to blank out a name. And when I'm done with it, I want you to guess the name.
Okay.
Executive produced by Blank and Steven Spielberg from seasons 1 to 3, Bull is a 1 hour scripted series inspired by the early career of Blank, the founder of one of the most prolific trial consulting firms of all time. Brilliant, brash, and charming, Dr. Jason Bull is the ultimate puppet master as he combines psychology, human intuition, and high tech data to learn what makes jurors, attorneys, witnesses, and the accused tick. Bull employs an enviable team of experts at Trial Analysis Corporation to shape successful narratives down to the very last detail. They include his quick witted former brother in law, Benny Colon, or Colon, a lawyer who acts as defense attorney in the company's mock trials, Marissa Morgan, a cutting edge neurolinguistics expert from the Department of Homeland Security, former NYPD Detective Danny James, the firm's tough but relatable investigator, haughty millennial hacker Cable McCrory, who is responsible for gathering cyber intelligence, and Chunk Palmer, a fashion conscious stylist and former All American lineman who fine tunes clients' appearances for trial. In high stakes trials, Bull's combination of remarkable insight into human nature, 3 PhDs, and a top notch staff creates winning strategies that tip the scales of justice in his client's favor. Who is the blank that's all based on the early career of?
I'm going to say a funny name, and I'm going to say Rudy Giuliani.
Wrong, it's Dr. Phil.
Good enough.
Bull, the legal procedural based on the career of Dr. Phil, featuring characters like Dr. Jason Bull, Cable McCrory, and Chunk Palmer.
Chunk Palmer.
Chunk Palmer, the fashion conscious stylist and former All American lineman.
Played by Christopher Jackson from Hamilton.
Oh, sure. I didn't look at the cast at all, but isn't that crazy? Isn't that fun?
You see, so I've seen like bits and pieces. I remember seeing Christopher Jackson in there. I never like really paid attention to any of the plot or anything. It was just, oh, my parents are watching the Bull show.
I just looked up this show. I just Google imaged Bull TV show. The fourth image result is a poster for season 1, where it's Michael Weatherly's face. It says Michael Weatherly, Bull, season 1, and across his face it says he'll get you off. I gotta send this to you. Publish this with the episode, please. I beg you.
Just
he'll get you off. Bull. Yep. We should talk about Bull instead. Let's talk about the TV show Bull.
So first we wanted to talk about Train Dreams. Now we want to talk about Bull. Do we even want to talk about this movie anymore?
Yes, I liked it. Yeah, Bull ran for 6 seasons. Created by Phil McGraw and Paul Attanasio, Academy Award nominee for the screenplays of Quiz Show and Donnie Brasco.
Good for him.
Sure.
I really don't want to talk about Bull anymore.
Neither do I. To start things off with my first note, you mentioned that like you've seen a lot of these. I have not seen a Hallmark Christmas movie before this, so maybe that paints my appreciation of this one a little bit. But you mentioned that like this sort of fits into the log line of the big city businesswoman going back to her hometown. The twist is the time travel thing, but like she has to be shown the true meaning of Christmas to get away from her big city job of doctor, which like
cardiologist, I think.
Yeah, she's like a full-on surgeon. Like that is not the kind of job that like takes away your attention to the point that you become a hardened capitalist like workhorse that needs to be melted and shown the true meaning of Christmas. She's a doctor on call on Christmas Eve. That's an important job. That's good for her. Good for her for that. Not, already setting up some changes from the usual format here, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, it's still a similar thing where it's
yeah.
Like, of course, she has to be taken up by work because her work is very important and needs to be like on call all the time. And she's forgotten her family because she's works in a hospital and needs to devote a lot of her attention to her patients.
And she lives in New York and all this stuff. And her family lives in Connecticut. We'll talk about that.
Not very far.
Yeah. It's a train ride away and 10 years away and all that. I do like that she goes to her job at Doctor with a full face of makeup, obviously, because it's Hallmark. She takes off that mask and, she looks movie ready right away, which is I mean, obviously, but just to point that out.
I not to spoil anything at the end of the movie, but I do like that just at the end of the movie, like as they're getting ready, one, she already has her makeup on, but it's like she has her dress in her locker. It's just like, oh, help me get ready.
Yep. I need to get ready to go home on my train. Um, so the setup for this movie is what's Lindsay Vincica's name in this?
Liz or something like that?
Jennifer,
Angie.
Angie.
We
None
were
of us.
so far.
Yeah, we were very far off. Angie is a doctor and all the stuff we just said in Manhattan. And while she's out for drinks with her friend and co-worker after work before she goes back home, they have a conversation about how her ex-boyfriend from 10 years ago is now this big hotshot news sportscaster who is going to co-host the Olympics next year, which I don't think that's how that works.
They probably mean like do the Olympics broadcast, like like George Stephanopoulos or whatever did.
Yeah, but do they have like one set person for the whole Olympics the
Well,
whole
yeah,
time?
the different networks have like their Olympics people who do the Olympics coverage.
I guess I don't really know much about the Olympics. I just that stood out to me the amount of times they say in this movie that he is co-hosting the Olympics. Like
I
it's the Olympics are being co-hosted by Rio de Janeiro and Tyler Grant.
That would be funny. It's like instead of a host city, it's just like you go to this guy's backyard.
Yep. But there's all this stuff, and they broke up, and now he's got a girlfriend and a dog, and her friend is like, "Oh, he's so hot. You should hit him up," and all this stuff. Then when they're at the bar, they also run into Angie's childhood best friend, who's definitely not in love with her, Ben Lee, who's a lawyer who's living in also Manhattan or something. He's living nearby, but hasn't reached out to her, and there's some awkwardness there.
Mhm.
And then Angie goes to get her train, catch her train to go back home, and mysterious Ticketmaster Christopher Lloyd gives her a mysterious golden ticket. And when she falls asleep on the train, she wakes up 10 years ago on the train back home with Tyler, and hijinks and Christmas ensue.
So the moment she falls asleep on the train and wakes up with like, oh, everybody's gone, she's on a different train. I wrote down my first note, which was, oh no, sorry, I didn't realize I was watching the Langoliers.
I mean, the Christmas Langoliers. This would have been, yeah, it is time travel sleeping on transport. It's
I, it's just like
the
the only
same.
difference is like in Langoliers time stops, whereas this is time go back.
I mean, that's time go back. It's just time go back, and in back there's nothing
True,
because that's the whole Langoliers thing is they eat the past.
true, true, true,
The
true.
Langoliers should have been in this movie, just like a constant threat to eat the past.
No, it's like there's very tiny Langoliers that are like eating the ticket,
Yes,
and it's or that ate ate the text off the ticket.
the part that says trip in round trip. I do love that golden ticket that just says round.
It was good. It's like, oh, I've got a round ticket. Does that count for anything?
Is to say. Um, no, I did have a few other notes before that point, just if we're going chronologically, because you said that
Sure.
was your first note. I Her nephew is named Henrik, which is an interesting name for a child. I also like how the credits credit for the two different kids playing Henrik in the different timelines, the like 4-year-old and the 14-year-old. You have the 14-year-old is credited as Henrik parentheses kid, and the 4-year-old is credited as Henrik parentheses child.
Those mean the same thing.
I know. There's a word for a 14-year-old. You could say teenager or older or present day
Or
or anything.
or teen if you want to keep it
Yeah,
short.
yeah. But no, Henrik kid and Henrik child. I wrote in all caps Aunt Myrt, which I wrote multiple times. Individual notes that just say Myrt and Aunt Myrt anytime they say her name, because
You're
it
really stuck on the nickname.
it's short for Myrtle, but like if you're gonna name your character Myrtle, name her Aunt Myrtle, because otherwise it just sounds like Aunt Myrt, like it's Mert, like her name is just Myrt, like Bert. It's just Aunt Myrt, who's not their aunt, by the way. Just
She,
everyone in town
everyone
calls
in
her
town
Aunt
calls
Myrt.
her Aunt
Which
Myrt.
that was a line that I was really confused by when she's talking about it. She says, "Oh, her name's Myrtle Conway, no relation." Everyone in town just calls her Aunt Myrt. I know that by no relation you mean she's not related to us, but that's also not what that means. That means she's not related to the other famous Conway, I guess, is what that turn of phrase
I
means.
mean, I think like usually in that context it would be like, oh, like she has the same name as like same last name as us, but it's she's no relation. But
Yeah,
it's like,
but their last name is Reynolds.
yeah.
There's
But
no
it,
like
but still, I didn't fault them for that line, even though I had the
no.
same thought where it's like, oh, that's a bit awkward to say, but it's
Yeah.
like,
I know what
oh,
they're going for. I know what it means. It just is not what it that's just not what that means. So
that's not
I
what that's used for usually.
yes. Other notes that I had before that point, Leah Thompson get iPad,
Yes.
because she does the FaceTime on the iPad when everything is sad because her sister can't adopt a kid and is having trouble with that, and the parents are divorced, and I guess Henrik is there and fine. I don't really like nothing's going on with him, but all this stuff. The catchphrase, the sportscaster catchphrase that Angie gives Tyler that like comes up a bit is when you can't get enough sports, I've got more.
I was stuck on the fact that it's like, oh, every sportscaster needs a catchphrase. It's like, do they? Is that a thing?
One, do they? And two, if they do, what does that mean? When you can't get enough sports, I've got more. Is the implication that if Tyler Grant was not actively hosting, sportscasting right there, they just wouldn't show the sports? He is the conduit through which the audience receives sports. He's the one that has more sports for them. He's the one bringing them their sports that when no one else would. If you can't get enough sports,
It makes me think of have you seen Christmas in July?
the is that its own thing, or are we talking about the Rudolph the
No,
Rankin
it's its own
Bass?
thing. It's
Okay,
a
no, I have
Dick
not then.
Powell movie from like the 40s or something.
No, I haven't.
So the premise of that movie is this guy is submitting for this like coffee caption contest or like a slogan for a coffee brand. And it's like it's you win like a million dollars or whatever if your thing gets chosen. Anyway, hey, and it's like his slogan for coffee is like, if you can't sleep, it isn't the coffee, it's the bunk. And it's like, and like everybody makes fun of that slogan in the movie, but then it's like that's the one that gets chosen. Ha ha ha, he wins. And it's a fun movie. Anyway,
Yeah,
that tagline just made me keep thinking of like that movie. It's just like in another movie, like if this movie were a parody of that, it's like they everybody would just make fun of that fucking tagline because it's
they
a
should,
stupid
because it
tagline.
it doesn't mean anything. It's so stupid, but whatever.
Yeah.
Again, enjoyed the movie. I think it's whimsical how stupid some of it is. Uh, and I don't think this was a Hallmark movie, but I kept sort of thinking about Ultimate Legacy and how
Yeah.
that has, in that episode we talked a lot about the nonsense of it and the like cheap production values, and this is the flirting versus harassment of that. This one I was completely charmed by this movie, and again I think a lot of that is because of Lindsay Fonseca, who is so delightful in the like quirky fish out of water like nature of this. The next note I have is sort of emblematic of that, is when she is trying to get the ticket from magical Christopher Lloyd, and he says something like, "Oh, but they say the magic of Christmas will find you wherever you are," and she just goes, "Huh, they say that? Okay." And it's just sort of like, awkward and a little, totally out of her element in all this, but is trying to like, she feels in so many scenes of this movie like she is like this close to just having a total nervous breakdown.
Yeah.
And it's so delightful. I was really charmed by her
Okay.
performance. It holds the whole thing together. If she was like more of a wet blanket, I would have had a lot less patience for the movie, but I really liked her.
This I've realized where like what changed the experience of the movie for us because it's really in her performance because you were totally charmed by it. Me, like I just got stuck in like I hate in time travel movies whenever because it's always such a trope like when they go back to the past and it's like they just can't wrap their head around it.
Yeah.
And it's like they're always like no, but it's like it's 2000 it's 2025 but it's like 2025 what are you from the future or whatever and it's just like and she
All the time
keeps
she
up
keeps talking about how like I work in Manhattan. I'm
exactly
and then has to be like, "Oh, I mean, I will. I'm in med school right now."
yeah and it's like I just feel like I would handle this better if I was in this situation
Well, yeah.
and it's just like it just it's a trope that annoys me and she keeps this up for like more than half of the movie and it's just like I just want them to like her to just get used to it so we can like keep this moving and that's another thing I feel like it just drags a lot like it
Oh,
takes
yeah.
so long for the first because obviously the the sportscaster guy he's gonna propose again. She's gonna say yes this time, and then nothing works. So then she has to realize that, oh, the guy I have no chemistry with is the guy I'm supposed to be in love with.
Well, she
And
doesn't realize that until the very end. She's doing
exactly,
a lot of other stuff before then. Yeah,
exactly. And
this is
it's
by no means a perfect movie. I'm not, making
I know
those
you weren't
bold of
saying that.
claims.
I just saying what I've been thinking.
Yeah.
And it's like and yeah, and it's like even like you had said, like this is supposed to be a Back to the Future thing, but I got confused in like the Groundhog Day thing because it's all about trying to figure out what like fixes her future, like what makes her be able to get back on the train. And it's like it reminds me of like Groundhog Day where it's like, oh, we change this thing in order to break the loop. We have to do this thing in order to break the loop. But even though it isn't a loop, there's just one time when it resets. Well, there's two checkpoints. It's weird. It's like there's
Yeah.
the first day where she's like arrives, gets on the train the first time, and then there's another train later where she has a few more restarts from that point.
Not
And it,
restarts just like the next morning. But
well,
she
yeah,
she checks back in with Christopher Lloyd and her ticket still just says round.
yeah. It's I don't know. It's weird.
Again,
It's
if you
all
try to
weird.
like if you try to put the plot of this into like in making sense kind of terms, you're up a creek. This is not the kind of movie where you really need to really pay
I
attention to the time travel logic and like where things how things work out.
I like that you just said up a creek because we can't swear because it's too close to Christmas.
It is too close to Christmas. Uh Christopher Lloyd, let's talk about him in his, relatively small role.
I mean, what's there to say?
I
Like
mean, yeah, it's
he's
Christopher
just
Lloyd. He's here, he's
he's
old,
goofy
he's
old guy who like
yeah.
well, who represents the spirit of Christmas and how he's kidnapped her in the past until she marries the man they want her to marry.
Yeah, it is kind of funny that he is like a sort of omniscient Christmas being. This could have been a lot darker, make him like a full villain, just like I don't know. But he's fine.
Like
It's Christopher Lloyd.
yeah, it's like there's nothing to say. He's just being Christopher Lloyd and he says the like inspirational Christmas words sometimes.
Yeah. Um
But God, it's like the kidnap to Christmas thing is like the other thing that just keeps like digging in my mind about this movie. Like it's so like I mentioned this already, but it's like it seems so clear to me that it's like her and Ben don't actually have that much chemistry. Like they don't really feel like they're meant to be together. Like I feel like if they were meant to be, they would have fallen in love like long before she ever met the other guy. Like, of course, like their childhood friends and whatever, but it's like I
well
would
that's
have
yeah.
I don't think like she's known this guy for so long that you'd think she would have like considered this at some point. And
Well,
then
they
but
they did. They dated for a while. She just didn't take it seriously, he says. And like it didn't work out on that regard, but he's always held a torch for her and she like it's the sort of thing where it's a Hallmark movie romance. Obviously,
I
it's not
know.
true to life, but like
I know.
she sort of realizes at the end, oh yeah, I have sort of always been in love with this guy and didn't realize it because he's always been there as my best friend. And it's it's corny, it's movie, it's whatever. But like, it doesn't feel to me like it's so out of left field that
Well,
like
it's
she
not
does
out of left
obviously.
field. It's so
Yeah,
choreographed, but
I
it's
I do want to meet whatever audience member out there is watching this movie and doesn't realize that that's what's happening until she reads the note from the box and says I'm in love with Ben, and they're like, "What?" I want to meet the person for whom that works as a twist, cuz statistically there has to be somebody out there
oh yeah.
who just with absolutely no media literacy who has that reaction watching this.
It's either somebody very young or very old.
Yes, or very was not paying attention to much of the movie.
Oh, and but that's another thing where it's like, uh, I don't think I would have necessarily like realized. Well, I would have realized before like the halfway point that it's like, oh, Ben is the main guy. But it's like as I was starting this movie, I looked at the letterbox page and realized, oh, the sportscaster guy is that they keep talking about is not the main guy on the poster. In fact, he's not even on the poster of the movie. It's just the other guy that we
Well,
briefly
yeah,
met in the present.
yeah, that's a pretty good hint.
Yeah.
Um, One more note that I have before we fully jump into the past. Did you take note of the name of the town where they live?
I did. I
What?
it is Shepard's Ferry.
Why did they name their fake town in this Hallmark movie Shepard's Ferry, presumably named after Shepard Fairey, the artist behind the Obama Hope poster, among other things,
Yeah,
and like the Andre the Giant Obey? Why would what's the point of that, huh?
I did write that down. Wait, is the town called Shepard's Ferry a reference to Shepard Ferry?
It
But it
it
can't
has
be.
to be. It
It
has
can't
to
be.
be.
It can't be, Gordon. Like it has to just be like, oh, generic town names. They always list like job and mode of transport. It's
Okay, but
some
it,
kind of local things. And Shepard's Ferry just feels like a generic town name. It just happens to be a guy as well.
but like if you're not making it a reference to the artist Shepard Fairey, in what context? Like what would a shepherd's fairy be other like those don't make sense together. There would be no reason to put those two words together if you're not actively referencing famed artist of like decades at this point, Shepard Fairey, who
I
has been
mean,
around since like the 80s as
I
a cultural figure.
I can understand how like a shepherd like a town would be called Shepherd's Ferry because it's like the ferry that goes between two farm towns or whatever, two places where there's a lot of shepherds. It's like
That's in Connecticut.
I don't know. I don't
Where
know what kind of stuff goes on in Connecticut,
I don't either,
but
but
it's
like
probably like very old town from like the 1800s or whatever, back when there were a lot of shepherds. I don't know.
I am taking the hard line stance that it's definitely a reference to famed artist
Okay,
Shepard Fairey.
here's what I think is the most likely scenario. The writer of this movie, who I'm gonna get the name of, uh, two writers, Carrie Drake and Dwayne Poole. What?
Again,
Dwayne Poole?
based on concepts by Samantha DePippo, Andrew Gernhardt, and Christy O'Connor.
Anyway,
Dwayne Poole and Samantha DePippo.
anyway.
Poole
Uh,
and DePippo.
stop. Let's stop. I'm trying to say something.
Yes,
You're
continue.
making me laugh too much. Anyway,
Sorry.
okay. I'm calming down. Anyway, so the writer of this movie, they were like, okay, we need a fucking name for this bullshit town she's going to. And they're just like, what should we call this town? And then it's just like, let's just look up some names and see what kind of gives us inspiration. It's just like in their Google around or whatever, or they just see like a reference to Shepard Fairey, like there's some news article or whatever. And it's like, Shepard Fairey, Shepherd's Ferry, that's a town name. Write it down.
I think probably more likely than that, if we're saying I don't know. More likely than that, I would imagine it's possible that like one of them came up with the name Shepherd's Ferry because they had heard the name Shepard Fairey and it existed in the back of their mind, and they're like, "Oh, these sound good together," and I don't know why, and they just sort of went with it. Like that, I'm willing to accept as an answer that it
Yeah.
is born of Shepard Fairey unintentionally.
Yeah. Like
I'll
it
take that.
can't be an intentional reference. Like there
I
it's
think it could. I do think it could, but I am granting the option that maybe it's not.
yeah. Another note I have, I think not liking dogs is supposed to be shorthand for evil in movies like this.
Oh, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not much of a dog person, but this guy's terrific. I want to start saying that about more dogs. Just, you know what? This guy's terrific.
Yeah, I didn't clock that until like later, like once they go back into the past, but it's like, oh yeah, this is the first supposed to be the first sign that like he's not a good guy. But then it's like they really hammer it over the head like once he gets the fucking sportscaster job, and it's like all he can talk about after that point is sports references.
Yes, he proposes with sports references. He says we're gonna, leave and go to Barcelona on our, to celebrate our engagement because I have a job there for a soccer thing happening on Christmas and all this stuff. And he just immediately becomes just like sportsman, even
Mhm.
more so than he has been. Um, I did like the scene because the whole thing leading up to this she's going back to the Christmas when 10 years ago he proposed and she said no, and that's the whole thing. Is she thinks that if she says yes this time when he proposes at dinner, that'll close the loop and she'll be able to go back. And so she's at this dinner where, in the first time 10 years ago he proposed, he put a ring in her champagne, and that's when she said no. I do like the scene where she's sitting there waiting for the champagne to come out, and she's super excited because this is going to fix it. It's going to send her back to the present. And then she gets the champagne, and she all of a sudden gets really, really concerned when it doesn't have a ring in it, and just the sudden drop of like her whole like personality and that scene. Like, well, this is just regular champagne, so now I'm really excited about what you're telling. Just for some reason that scene really got
Mhm.
me with her whole sort of like
That was a good scene.
neurotic reaction to this whole situation.
Mhm. Good good scene. And
Um,
yeah, he's just telling her that he got the job, and it's just like,
yes,
oh, great, love that.
yeah, it's fun. I like because this is a time travel movie where you can change things. It's not one of those like everything is a fixed point in the past and you're just creating circumstances without realizing you're creating circumstances, and it's always been like this. Because she gets her parents back together, she resolves her relationship with her sister. The dog is still dead in the future. Like that's not something she can change. That dog's gonna die one way or another. Um, but she changes everything. She changes ultimately her relationship with Ben. Spoiler alert for the ending of the movie, where they have some convenient right arounds, I guess, to get it to work out. But yeah, I like anytime something like that doesn't quite go the way she remembered it going or expected it to go, and she has to like hide the panic of like, oh shit, oh fuck, oh no, what's going on. I
Mhm.
thought that was fun. um there's a
I
few moments like that. There's a point where like her dad is up on the roof fixing something and she goes like, man, like one of these Christmases he's gonna fall and break something. Or I mean, I guess he's not. That's like she realizes, well, he doesn't in the next 10 years, so like I guess that's fine. I thought that was a funny little aside. She has a few asides like that where she's covering the thing that you were saying, where like she catches herself in remembering the circumstances, and sometimes it doesn't work, but every once in a while you get one like that that's like playing with the obvious trope of that, and I found it charming.
Mhm. And I do like when she first is telling Ben like, hey, this is what's happening to me. It's like there's a moment when he's like where he also gets tripped up in like the past and future. It's just like you got me doing it too.
Yeah. Like I did, or I guess I will. I mean, yeah, it was fun. I think their interplay works a lot better than it sounds like you do. I found them very charming together.
I
Like
I found him charming. I just didn't find them together charming.
fair. I liked it in a sort of like in the kind of way where like if they didn't end up together ultimately, I think it would have been just as fine because they're very good friends and their friendship chemistry works really well.
Yeah.
Uh, I
Like
liked
that was
I
the
liked
main
that a
thing.
lot more than at the end when they go to dinner and they're married or they're engaged now and all that stuff. I was like, oh yeah, that's fine, but like I want them to be like best friends again.
Yeah, like that was the thing for me, where it's like I like them as friends, but I didn't really believe them as romantic partners.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. And
Um,
um
who did you keep thinking the dad was in watching this?
oh oh there was somebody.
I
What
wrote a list of like five people that at different times I was like, well, it's definitely not Treat Williams. It's not Thomas Hayden Church. It's not Bo Bridges. It's not Don Johnson. It's not Clancy Brown.
you
All guys that would have been a lot better in this. I mean, the guy playing the dad is fine. He's good. He's got good, like, Connecticut Christmas dad energy, but he wasn't a face in the way that you would want to be like opposite Leah Thompson. Definitely someone you know.
so when you so there was a point in the movie where it's like this guy looks like somebody, even though I know he isn't somebody. And that was actually happening to me with a lot of the guys, like the two main love interests, both of them, I thought looked like somebody I'd seen it, but I went to their
Sports guy
IMDb.
kind of looks like the guy from the Ultimate Legacy, actually.
No, he doesn't look like Michael Olivier.
No, the other one,
Oh,
the
the
one that's on
main
the
guy?
Yeah, no, the one on the poster from Ultimate Legacy. No, am I wrong?
Like I said, like the guy who gets ultimate lifed or whatever, ultimate gifted in that one,
Oh
but then
yes,
rejects it. Yeah, that's Michael Olivier, which I remember his name for some reason. Why do I remember
I
the actor's name from the Ultimate Legacy?
yeah. Why? Okay, maybe I looking at it now, I was just misremembering what he looks like on that poster. Yeah, he doesn't look like
But
him at
like
all.
the the sportscaster guy, I realized he looks like one of the guys from like Teen Wolf or Vampire Diaries or
Oh
something. Like
yeah, he's
one of those
very
guys.
much all of that. He's not. He has three known for on IMDb. This is one of them. He's in other things. He's in like
The
his
fact
other
that
two
there's only
known for
three known force is
a,
very sad.
a TV series called Katie Keene, I guess. Whatever that is, that has Lucy Hale and Ashley Murray, that he's in
Mhm.
5 episodes of. And something called Listen from 2025, where he plays Guy.
Yeah, and then Ben is a regular on Days of Our Lives, which
Yeah, okay, yeah, that was the other soap that I was trying to remember. He's won like 2 or 3 daytime Emmys for that, it
mhm,
seems.
yeah, which
Uh,
I'm more of a Bold and the Beautiful person. My bad. Sorry.
but yeah, how many? Oh, okay. Yeah, he's done 767 episodes of Days of Our Lives as Will Horton and Will Roberts. So uh, I don't know what that means, but
They are
good for you for that.
probably long lost brothers or something.
Same first name, different last name. I believe
I,
it.
or it's definitely like he gets married and decides to change his name to be romantic.
Maybe so. Who's to say? But
Um,
yeah, there's a lot of people in this that
anyway, back
look
to the
like,
dad.
yes. Back to the
Uh,
dad. Did
So
you?
when you listed out those names, it's like he was reminding me of somebody, and it's like I think at one point I thought like, oh, he kind of looks like Bridges with a beard, but then I was like, no. But
Well, he doesn't have a beard until the very end.
yes, but what he reminded me of was especially in the ending was Thomas Hayden Church in Wake Up Dead Man.
Yes, yeah, very much Thomas Hayden Church, Wake Up Dead Man coded. Uh, he's a cool guy. I would have liked a little bit more of that character and his relationship with his daughter. Like, I mean, the whole thing of it is that he's growing distant, and 10 years, or I guess 8 years from now, is when they get divorced, is what she says. But like, uh, because he's growing distant from the mom, and just sort of like settling off on his own. That's one of the things that Angie has to fix, is getting them back together. And the scene of them at the Christmas party, where he's sort of recounting the tale of what it was like when he met her 30 years ago at the first Aunt Myrt Christmas party and all this stuff. And he's talking about like, oh, and I was going to leave. And then I turned around, and then he turns around and she's there wearing the dress. And the scene of them just sort of like rekindling things and falling back in love with each other, I found to be very sweet. I really liked that.
I did like that. That was a really nice thing. That was I wanted the movie to be about them rather than the
Yeah.
daughter.
And see, that's extremely Back to the Future, is getting her parents together to
Hmm.
save, the timeline and everything, to save the magic printed thing she has in her pocket that is fading away.
Hmm.
Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Um, but no, I like that. I mean, again, I haven't seen other Hallmark Christmas movies, but I liked that this movie took the time, away from the young people romance story to like really, be genuine about this older couple falling back in love with each other. And it's not just that scene. You have them playing piano together and then slow dancing together and all this stuff. I
Hmm.
was really charmed by that relationship, uh and their love. Love wins about this straight white couple.
Hashtag love wins.
Hashtag love wins. Speaking of Leah Thompson, also, the IMDb trivia for this movie does not say anything about whether this is, Shepard's Fairey is named after Shepard Fairey, but it does have quite a bit to say about Leah Thompson, etc. So, top trivia item. This is the seventh movie in which good friends Christopher Lloyd and Leah Thompson have co-starred. Miss Thompson thinks it's funny that in all seven movies they've never spoken directly to each other, which is kind of
Interesting.
interesting. So it's the all three Back to the Future movies. This movie, Dennis the Menace, which I did not remember that she was in, uh, and then two others, which I had never heard of before. One of them we have to do and very soon on this show, which is something called The Right to Remain Silent from 1996, starring Leah Thompson and Robert Loggia as cops. And let me read to you the cast list on Wikipedia, specifically in the order it is written on Wikipedia.
Okay.
Robert Loggia, Leah Thompson, LL Cool J, Amanda Plummer, Christopher Lloyd, Laura San Giacomo, Fisher Stevens, Judge Reinhold, Patrick Dempsey, Carl Reiner, Colleen Camp, Mary Pat Gleason, Fisher Stevens, and Day Young.
Why is Sister Stevens on there twice?
It's a typo, but it's one hell of a typo. Produced by John McTiernan, among others. I didn't see that till just now. That's crazy.
Oh, that's cool.
Directed by Hubert C. de la Bouillère. I don't know. That guy doesn't have a Wikipedia page. The hyperlink there is red.
Directed by, or who also directed Dead Man Can't Dance and The
Ooh.
Apocalypse.
Anyway, I really want to do this one. It seems interesting. Uh, I love Robert Loggia. I love Leah Thompson. I want to see that, duo as like hardened cop, rookie cop, like dynamic. And then the eight faces. This is a report about eight different types of arrests which can happen in a normal month, which all seem to happen over the first shift. So it seems by the
Hmm.
description of it. But the eight faces that are arrested, the eight different types of arrests that happen in this first shift are LL Cool J, Amanda Plummer, Christopher Lloyd, Laura San Giacomo. Uh, I don't know who this next one is. I can't recognize that person. Judge Reinhold, Patrick Dempsey, Carl Reiner. Uh, oh, is that other one?
That's Fisher Stevens.
That's trans Fisher Stevens.
Oh, fun.
Okay,
We definitely have to watch this. Wait.
yeah, Fisher Stevens, purveyor of
Oh,
problematic, uh, with this and Short Circuit.
I was going to like look up like what the name was, but it just lists the male name, and
Yeah,
that's no fun.
maybe it's Colleen Camp. Maybe that's Colleen Camp. I don't know.
I mean, the poster on
The,
Letterboxd shows the
oh, that's a
like
lot.
the
It's a
cast
lot
names.
clearer. Okay, the
Yeah.
Wikipedia one is very low res.
Yeah, like
But if that's
yeah,
Fisher
Fisher
Stevens,
Stevens is
okay.
to the left of Judge Reinhold
Okay.
and
Yeah,
below
that's what I
LL Cool
was.
J.
Anyway, the other Leah Thompson, Christopher Lloyd movie, which movie in scare quotes, it's a 2003 short 4D film from SeaWorld.
Is that
But
a Back to the Future thing?
no, it's not. It's
Oh,
something called Haunted Lighthouse, starring Christopher Lloyd, Leah Thompson, Michael McKean. Also
Haunted
has
Lighthouse.
Dave Chase from Donnie Darko and a cameo from Weird Al Yankovic. Uh,
Fun.
it is directed by Joe Dante from a story by R.L. Stein.
Fun.
And it's from, among other theme parks, SeaWorld. Sure.
Oh, there is a LB page for it. Yeah, and it's like Leah Thompson, Peg Van Leg.
Yeah. Peg Van Leg, Michael McKean is Captain Van Leg,
Yeah,
Christopher Lloyd is Captain Jack.
Rachel
I don't know
Hunter.
what the letterbox poster is, but on Wikipedia, he's looking very surprised and very doesn't have that beard in real life.
Same. It's the same on Letterboxd. Rachel
Yeah,
Hunter plays Rich Widow Feeney.
sure. Yeah. Anyway, those are the other two Lloyd Thompson joints.
Good for them.
Yeah. I like that
It is a shame
letterbox.
that they don't interact though.
Yeah, in any of the movies. That is kind of crazy. Anyway, the next trivia item, Christopher Lloyd and Leah Thompson are appeared in all three Back to the Future movies, which shares similar aspects to this film, i.e., traveling through time in a vehicle.
Are appeared.
Next one, Leah Thompson, Christopher Lloyd, and Lindsay Fonseca have all previously appeared in films involving time travel. Thompson and Lloyd appeared in the Back to the Future franchise, and Fonseca was in Hot Tub Time Machine. This film also contains time travel.
That's fun.
The next one is something about the Super Bowl stuff.
Well, tell me. Just say it.
In 2011, to prove she's from the future, Angie tells Ben the Giants win the Super Bowl. He responds with, "They beat the Patriots, but the Patriots are undefeated." While the Giants did beat the Patriots in the 2011 season Super Bowl, it was in the 2007 season Super Bowl when they beat the undefeated Patriots. And the next trivia, Christopher Lloyd also appeared in Back to the Future 3. Both that film and this one involve a time traveling train. So
Uh,
three of the five trivia items are about how some of the people in this movie were also in time travel movies, including Back to the Future. And then another one is about how two of these people were also in Back to the Future. And then the Super Bowl. And then a spoiler about at the end when you see the conductor, when all is, when she goes back to the present, he's reading a newspaper that says that Tyler is also engaged to his
he's just
Instagram girlfriend.
reusing the old playbook.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. What other notes do I have? The scene where Ben is Santa Claus and Henrik wishes for a baby brother or maybe a baby sister. Why is the sister infertile in this movie? Why is that a whole subplot? Why did the sister kind of remind me of Inga Ibsdottir Lilius in Sentimental Value? She doesn't
Sure.
not look like her a little bit.
I
And
I
you
need to
have
look at her again with that in mind. Is that
it's
Kristen?
yes, Paige Herschel.
I mean,
It's not like exact, but like the scenes of them like in the bed together, her
yeah.
and Paige crying about their strained sisters relationship that gets mended over the course of the movie as they get to know each other better and like
But
reconnect
Gordon,
about everything.
now that you've said that, we need a Hallmark version of Sentimental Value
They
that's
made that.
about
It's called Jay
relearning.
Kelly.
I did a double feature of that. I watched it
I
both.
kind of did at New York. I saw them back to back days.
I literally went from one showing to the next, starting with Jay Kelly, then seeing Sentimental Value.
Did you do it on purpose knowing that they were the same movie?
I had no idea.
Isn't it crazy how exact the it is?
Like it literally is like they're Jay Kelly and the Stellan Skarsgård's director are the same guy with the
Yeah.
same relationship with their daughters.
Two daughters. The older one is not an actor. The younger one maybe is. He has a whole change of heart after a career retrospective at a festival in Europe. He's trying to reconnect with his daughters. All this stuff. He has a strained relationship because he spent so much time on his movie making relationship or career that it like doesn't like it fucks up his relationship with his daughters. Crazy. Same thing.
Mhm. Same movie, except one of them is a lot better than the other.
I would go so far as to say one of them is good.
I liked Jay Kelly.
Yeah,
I thought
there's stuff in Jay Kelly that I like. I think Clooney is great. I think, and there's other good stuff along the way, but it's really sort of weighed down a star, maybe a star and a half by the Sandler Dern stuff.
I think the entire cast was good in their roles, but I just wish it was a more inspired story and it just
Yeah.
wasn't just, the it's just like I wrote this in my review, but it's basically just like 8.5 and Cinema Paradiso and like all these other movies about movies are great, huh? But then also this one wants to be a little sadder.
Yeah. Sadder than Cinema Paradiso, you say, huh?
No, that I forgot that movie was sad. I
This
just
movie's sad, unlike that Laugh Riot Cinema Paradiso.
I always just whenever I think about Cinema Paradiso, I just think about like the scenes with the kid and the old
Yeah.
guy. They're having fun together. I forget the part where he becomes blind and the cinema burns down and everything.
Yeah.
And also all the stuff with the kid growing up, like that one. Oh, I that's the most forgettable part of that fucking movie.
But the ending is genuinely so beautiful, where he goes back and watches just the supercut of all the kisses and all the things that had to be cut out that were
Yeah, but
saved
there's like
just
an
for him.
hour between the
Yeah.
good stuff.
Yeah. I couldn't tell you much of what else happens in the ending there, but that bit is, it salvages whatever. You're right. The
I
the
had a
memorable stuff is the first half.
I had a really enlightening rewatch of that recently, like where it's like I just got a kick of rewatching a lot of movies I used to really like. Like I watched Amelie and then immediately watched Cinema Paradiso. Oh, and it was just like and Amelie held up. Cinema Paradiso did not, which
Interesting.
is maybe kind of what Cinema Paradiso is all about.
Maybe
Not
so.
really.
Maybe it is. Who's to say? One of my notes just says sports prosel, which is a portmanteau that doesn't really work when you think about it, but I thought it sounded funny.
Proposal.
Propose sports. Oh, propose sportsel. There you go. Um, Going way back earlier in the notes, I like the way Christopher Lloyd, when she asks him what he's doing when she goes back to the past and sees him on the train, and he goes, having a cup of cocoa.
And also
Cup
just
of cocoa.
the famous Christmas donuts that they have on the train.
Yes, the Santa donuts that he eats all of them. Tyler does.
Yeah, he eats the two donuts because she took too long. But it's
Yeah,
like she could have eaten a donut. She went right over
there was
the
so there was
car was
so
right there.
yeah, there were so many of them. Not his fault.
There
Um,
was also nobody else on that train either.
yeah, there's nobody on the train because it's a magic from the past train.
But no, that was the real train that she
It was,
rode.
but it's from the past from her. It's
Yeah,
magic
but but also there's just nobody on the train
because
because
nobody else is going to Shepard's Ferry, Connecticut from Manhattan.
but the train has more than one stop.
Yeah, I know. I'm being
I know
facetious.
you're being a dickhead,
Whoa.
like you always are, you piece of shit. I hate you.
Well, that was very nice.
It's okay. I'm gonna
What
learn
was
the
that
meaning of
about?
Christmas next week.
I guess so. Um, what else? Okay, so yeah, so she solves everything. She gets her parents back together. She fixes her relationship with her sister. She realizes she loves Ben. She tells Ben, "Hey, everything's gonna work out, but I gotta go back to my present. I'll see you in 10 years at this one restaurant." Like from Lost, how they do that one time.
I have not
Um,
seen Lost.
I know, but for everyone out there who has, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And that show is beautiful when they do that.
Penny's boat. I don't know.
It is Penny. It is Penny is the
Oh,
one
it's
that is,
Penny.
yeah. Funny that that is the thing that that does tie in together. Penny, ultimately not a super relevant character to most of that show. But you did reference the right character. Wrong scene, but right character.
Yeah, and
Um,
I just one of the few things I know about Lost is that it's not Penny's boat.
it's not Penny's boat. Um, what? But yeah, so she goes back to the present, and it's doing the hand wavy. Don't think about the time travel stuff, where like she gets a call from her family, and everything has changed for the better. Parents are back together, and she knows that that's going to happen. She isn't that surprised when they've adopted the kid, but is surprised that Ben helped adopt the kid, even though like she did also help Ben get on the right track of family law instead of like corporate law. She's still shocked that like Ben Lee is the Ben that helped with that. Um, but she goes to the restaurant after she gets a call because she's on call. She does heart surgery or whatever, and then she's like,
Mhm.
"Oh shit, I'm late. I gotta go find Ben, see if he's also been waiting the 10 years that I didn't really have to wait because I just jumped back to right now." And she gets to the restaurant and it's closing, and she's about to leave dejected because she didn't get with Ben. But then she gets a call from Ben, and Ben is like, "Hey, do you want to say the line that he says?"
No. Oh wait, yes I do. The
Yes.
salads are getting cold.
The salads are getting cold.
Which,
What?
okay,
Ben? What?
okay, okay. I have a defense of this line though, because I when I was looking at the lines at the letterbox reviews, the top ones, the top two both mention the salads are getting cold line. I was just like, okay, yeah, that is kind of weird. But when he in the context of the scene, it's clearly a joke. Like
Yes,
it's
because
very clearly a joke
Ben
that
is
he's
the
making.
jokester. Yeah, Ben is a funny guy, and that's his whole deal. It's just out of context. The line "the salads are getting cold" is silly, but it's supposed to be silly, so it's okay. Um, so then she goes and they have dinner, or they have their salads, they have their champagne, and then the waiter brings over, one of those closed top dishes, lifts it up, and it has the polar bear, the frosty, right? So it's frosty because that's the whole thing. Is
Yeah, it
he
has a
says he
snowman on top.
yes, has the little like music box that he gave to her when they were kids. Uh, that became plot relevant earlier because there was a note that he wrote to her about how much he loved her that she had never seen until just then. But then he opens up the box and there's a wedding ring in it, and he's proposing to her after 10 years of dating. Is how it has to have been because of the time travel stuff. They have been dating for 10 years before he proposes.
I mean, I think it's because he wanted to wait until she came back, you know?
But like the way she starts talking after that, she like starts, quote unquote, remembering, like the memories come back to her of filling in those 10 years of they've been together. And he seems to have no idea what she's talking about when she's talking about, like, oh, you came, you're here. Like, you waited all those 10 years, all this stuff.
Oh
He's like,
yeah.
what are you talking about? So the way they get around it is he says, will you finally marry me? Which is sort of, it like implies you sort of fill in the blanks there of like he's maybe proposed before or they've talked about this and have like put it off or everything. We don't know because we don't see the intervening 10 years. But what it tells us, because there's also the thing, she says, oh, my family's going to be so excited. And he goes, probably like, relieved after all this time, more like. So they've been dating for 10 years and he's
Hmm.
just now proposing, is how it has to be, because otherwise she goes back into the present and has a wedding ring and immediately knows what's up and like realizes, oh, I'm married now to Ben. And you don't get the big Hallmark movie ending where he proposes to
Yeah.
her. But what that has to mean, by the way the movie is set up, is that they have been dating for 10 years before he proposes, which is silly.
Yeah, it's like I have to wonder what she was like in the middle. Like because there's does she like what happens on December 26th?
Well, that's the thing is, remember, he's when she's so excited to see him, he says, what, you're acting like it's been weeks since we've seen each other. And she goes, well, when was the last time we had dinner or whatever? And he goes, last Tuesday with David. And she's like, David? It's like, yeah, my partner at the office, or my partner at the firm. And she goes, doing family law. And he goes, oh, why do I remember so much of this script? And he goes, yeah, you're always, ready to take credit for that. And she's like, yeah, I'm remembering now. And it like fills in her memory with like the past 10 years. Magically, I guess, she is sort of retroactively gaining the new timeline is like getting downloaded into her
Okay.
brain in real time is what it, again, hand wave away, don't think about it, don't think about, does she remember the real or the original timeline of 10 years where her parents got divorced and all this stuff? Will she remember her entire last 10 years of her life the right way? Which is the right way? Who knows? It doesn't matter, don't think about it.
I'm but I'm also thinking about like so if does he remember her like her saying like I came from the future, or does the Christmas magic just make this all have happened without her telling him the future stuff of, and it's like they just kind of continue on normally as if that never happened, because it's like you would think that like
He's
he would have mentioned that like in the final thing if he did like if he did remember her whole thing and like yada yada yada, they have the dinner or
Yeah, he seems to not remember it.
yeah, so it's like what actually happened on that day, what happened in the future days, and it's like and so is she also going to forget that she ever traveled back to the past?
I think she might.
It's a Christmas. I think Christmas magic is evil. I'm just gonna say that now.
It does a
It
whole lot of
kidnaps this woman,
gaslighting.
forces her to marry this man that she didn't love until they Stockholm syndromed her into loving him.
Or
And
she
then
did but didn't realize it.
I don't think that's true.
I
Let
I am
let me
willing
be
to
mean,
accept the
Gordon. Let
power
me
of
be
love.
mean to Christmas. And then she goes back to the future and is suddenly forced to remember a past that never existed, and just continue in this new life they've forced her into rather than the life she was already pretty happy with, because she was, yeah, I guess she wasn't happy, but still, let her have her misery.
She goes back to the future, you say? I like the sound of that.
Kill yourself, Gordon. Just
No,
kill yourself.
Mayor Goldie Wilson, I like the sound of that. Zemeckis. But no, wait, Robert, it's me, your cousin, Marvin Zemeckis. I have a, listen to this. And just plays all of Next Stop Christmas over the phone.
I was wondering, like, when he, so when she's on the Christmas train and Christopher Lloyd is like they're about to depart, and he says, "Next stop." I was really expecting him to say
The
Christmas.
future. Oh,
No,
Next Stop
no.
Christmas? Yeah.
Next stop, Shepard's Ferry, and I was like, "Ah,
Yeah.
shucks."
One more tab that I have up of something I wanted to mention that's tangentially related, but it does. I did look into the actor that plays the dad because I wanted to see if I recognized him from anything, and I don't. Matt Walton. He's just like not really a guy you know from anything. But one thing he is in on his IMDb is a 2024 short film called Marvin is Sorry, with the plot summary. After accidentally killing one of his fans during the filming of a YouTube video, famed YouTuber Marvin Weaver must save his career by teaming up with Tag Taggart, an alt-right news anchor bent on cultural domination.
Wait, who did you say was in this?
The actor that plays the dad, Matt
Okay,
Walton, plays Tag Taggart, the alt-right news anchor bent on cultural domination.
I can't tell if this is pro or anti the right wing guy.
I think if they're calling him an alt-right anchor bent on cultural domination, it has to
Okay,
be not. Also,
okay,
like a lot of the cast per IMDb are not white, so I would have to imagine. You never
okay.
know, but I hope it's not pro alt-right.
Hopefully.
Directed by Clint Pang. What is this guy? His IMDb photo is a dog. I think it's probably just like a YouTube like uh profile picture or something because
Okay.
there is another photo of him and he seems to be a regular human guy.
There's no rule. It says a dog can't direct a movie.
Direct a movie called Marvin is Sorry about famed YouTuber Marvin Weaver who accidentally killed a fan. Oh, we had fun on this episode, didn't we, folks? What did we learn today? We learned that when you can't get enough sports, uh, what's his name? Tyler has got more. We've learned that the dad was not Treat Williams or Thomas Hayden Church or Beau Bridges. We learned that Leah Thompson and Christopher Lloyd have never spoken to one another. We we learned
Ever.
that we learned that Aunt Myrt